This is On the Money with Ryan Wheelis, financial advisor who can provide your financial flight plan to generational wealth. Mr. Ryan Wheelis, how you doing this week? Look, I even got my sound effects going.
I'm doing great, man. It's been a pretty crazy time when you look at what's going on with the stock market. Is going gangbusters. I'm sure you got some questions for me today on that, Spike. For sure. Spike's going to play Stump the Chump. And then what's really interesting, man, is that crypto is going bonkers in a big way. Big way. Yeah. So anyway, it's been cool to have some clarity about who's going to run the country for the next 4 years. Whether your gal got in or didn't get in, or your guy got in or didn't get in, it is what it is. We're here and we're stuck here for the next 4 years, and it's going to be a wild time. I think Trump's making some pretty egregious appointments. I think the nomination of Matt Gaetz for the Department of Justice is just mind-bogglingly, crazy. Like, it's a I can't say the words I want to say right now on the radio, but it's that to the Department of Justice, and so it's gonna be interesting. But I get super excited when I believe in paying taxes and my fair share of taxes. I have no problem doing that. The challenge that I have with the taxes in our country is the money that I pay into the government system is not used efficiently. And so you've got the Department of Government Efficiency, which is funny because it's Dogecoin, right? The cryptocurrency, DOGE, or Dogecoin, or whatever you say. I don't know.
Yeah, Doge. I don't know. The kids will know. We'll get comments on the YouTube page about it.
Yeah, somebody knows, but I don't know what it's, I know what it is. I just don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, so that it's really cool because you've got Elon Musk up there and Vivek Ramaswamy running this department, and I think there is just an astronomical amount of waste at such a high level that we as taxpayers have zero input in, zero control over, but don't pay your taxes and see what happens, right? So I'm excited from that standpoint because I believe that we can get this country back in a direction, and I'm not talking about politically, folks. I'm talking about business-wise, okay? I'm talking about the stuff that really matters to me when, as an investment advisor, I'm guiding my clients on, what our decisions are, and how to invest their money in the market to benefit them the best way we possibly can. And I think when we start getting government spending under control, I believe that we start making our tax dollars count, and we start reducing the national debt. I really do believe the future is very, very bright for the United States of America.
For those who are watching on the YouTube channel, you might be wondering, why do I keep doing these introductions? Because we're also on the radio. So every single week, we're in Austin, we're here in Houston. KTRH, 1 p.m. on Sundays, we do the full hour-long program. And for those who are catching us on the YouTube channel, just want to let you know you can also listen in. There's a live listen-in link there. But I want to go back to that. So there were a lot of folks over the last few weeks, even the last couple of months, who were coming into your office, coming to live workshops and saying, I don't want to do anything with my investments until after the election. Okay, it's after the election, and it seemed like within a few hours, by the next morning, the market was skyrocketing. Is this because of what you're saying? Do a lot of Americans feel like business-wise they're going to get back on track? I even wonder if it was the blue side of the aisle that jumped in and goes, well, there's nothing we can do, but we might as well invest in the market. I think everybody jumped in.
The money had to come in from somewhere, Spike, for sure. But also, existing positions went up, right? And so I believe very strongly that, if you just look historically, and folks, Democrat, Republican, it means nothing to me because I believe there is no more Democratic Party, Republican Party. There's extreme left or extreme right, and there's not much in between these days. But that's my personal belief. But when you look at it, Spike, I believe that historically, the Democratic Party has been the tax and spends party, bigger government, tax more, spend more. Okay, and the Republican Party has been the opposite of that, to where they want the country run more from a standpoint of in private businesses, right, and not tax as much and not spend as much. And that's kind of the donkey and the elephant battle, if you will. Well, I believe that a Trump presidency is being viewed as more favorable to business than what a Harris presidency would have been, right, wrong, or indifferent. That's what I believe the market is saying right now. And so you remember, Spike, we had many conversations about not letting your political affiliation or beliefs drive your investment decisions. Well, those of you who stood aside and didn't take any action or stayed out of the markets, you missed a pretty big run-up, which has happened here recently. And I'll just use Bitcoin as an example. Bitcoin has skyrocketed. Well, if you weren't in Bitcoin, you missed it. And now Bitcoin's clearly at all-time highs, or close. I mean, maybe just over. And so when you look at that, it's like, okay, Ryan, I missed the run-up. When do I get in now? So now you're having to make this decision of when to get back in. And that's why I'm just such a big fan of, and have the understanding that you don't let things that happen in politics drive your investment decisions. I mean, certainly there's some minor stuff that you can do. For instance, if you go back and look at the Obama administration, did many great things for the country, by the way. But, healthcare was the top sector under in the markets during the Obama administration. Okay. And you can go back and look at that and see it in charts and that sort of thing. And you look at, Trump's mantra has been drill, baby, drill. Okay. Well, guess what? That's good for oil and gas companies, good for the drilling companies. So upstream, midstream, downstream energy are all going to do very, very well. And quite frankly, that's very good for the state of Texas. So interesting, turn of events here, if you will.
Another thing, so we're doing some financial election takeaways. I mean, you can tune into all the news channels and find out, who these the positions are going to be going into the cabinet. Like you said, it's interesting is, I think, the easiest word that we can say right now, is certainly for radio. We can say anything we want to on YouTube, but we also have the radio show going on right now. You brought up taxes, so I want to go to that as well. Do you think he will keep his own tax cuts from 2017, or I've been using a mantra, you can't step into the same river twice because the water's flowing. You can go into the same location. But I'm wondering, will he or even this administration consider it to be the same kind of economy as when he was previously in office? Will he keep his own tax cuts, you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, Spike, look at Musk and Ramswally. I believe I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. And if not, I apologize.
Again, we'll find out on YouTube comments.
For sure. Somebody's going to let me know. And thank you for doing that, by the way. When I look at that, just that alone, Spike, it tells me that there is a move to reduce government spending. Well, if you can reduce government spending and government waste, certainly you can keep taxes low. I don't know, and then he also ran on no more taxes on tips, I believe. Okay.
That was one of them.
And no more tax on Social Security, which, let me tell you right now, I am a huge fan of. We serve a lot of families at Allied Wealth. We serve some very high net worth family where Social Security checks don't mean anything. And then, shame on us if we don't help the little man too, or little lady, because we have clients that, rely largely on Social Security checks, and not paying taxes on their Social Security income would be a huge pay raise for these folks. So I do believe that in some capacity, I'm not sure if the exact regime that's in place now continues, but I do believe that he will stand behind those things, and the movements that are being made appear to say we're going to have reduced taxes under a Trump presidency versus what we might have had under a Harris presidency. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I just think that watching the moves Trump is making, appointing the people he is appointing in certain positions, it does point to either an extension of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and potentially even lower taxes. Spike, it's interesting because, I'm a business owner. This is what I do. And if I can pay less taxes, yes, I keep more money. But what a lot of people don't understand is, Ryan, you might be a wealthy guy, for instance. Well, if I am, yes, I might be, but I also employ a lot of people. And my company is in growth mode. So if I'm paying less in tax, I can employ more people and invest more money back into my company for growth purposes. That creates jobs. What it also does is creates a tax base, because the employees that I bring on also pay income taxes. All right. And what's really even crazier to me than this is There's a Dave Chappelle skit out there, Spike, and I'm not watching the time today, bud. So just you're going to have to put me in check.
You got a minute for us on radio here. We'll continue on YouTube. Click on the next video. We'll do election follow-up.
We'll come back in. I'm talking about Dave Chappelle. We'll come back in after the break, folks. Don't touch the dial. Listen, if there's anything here that you like that I'm talking about, or you have a 401k, or you have questions about mutual funds, or Social Security, or financial planning, or annuities, or taxation in retirement, any of those things, if you need some help, give us a call. You can reach us at 844-944-7555. Again, 844-944-7555. Also, don't forget to check us out at retirenowhouston.com or retirenowhouston.com. And so we get back on the show. Spike and I will continue talking about the Dave Chappelle skit about Trump using the tax system coming up next. Don't touch that dial.